Hola, bom dia,
Feliz Ano Novo.
which means
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year. And thanks for tuning in to our continuing adventure, what it's like to live here in Portugal. If you're a first time viewer, thank you very much. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you've been with us for a while, thank you very much for your support. And what a Christmas and New Year's we had. This is our, what, how many times?
We just completed our second holiday experience here in Portugal. And wow, we really, you guys that know us know we're in Portuguese class, language class. And we got a break from class for the holiday.
It-
And
Oh.
so what did we do?
We made good use of it. We had great stuff going on here in Porto. We had the Christmas markets. We had all the lights in the city. We had our friends and neighbors, our shopkeepers, everybody in a festive mood, decorations up everywhere. Everybody's saying Feliz Ano Novo, Happy New Year, or Feliz Natal, Happy Christmas. So it's been great. We had our second Christmas Eve gathering with a lot of our expats friends.
Yeah, that might be a tradition because we had a
Yeah,
great
just
time
might.
and others did too. So hey,
it was awesome. We had
Yeah.
good food, definitely good wine, and lots of good conversations. But that wasn't the only thing we did. What else did we do?
we went to Ponte de Lima and
We went to São Martinho de Porto.
wow, what an experience. Fabulous. We loved it and we can't wait to share some of it with you right now.
Just before Christmas, we hopped on the bus, and in an hour and a half, we were in Ponte de Lima, which is about 83 kilometers north of Porto. And what a beautiful little town. Everything was decorated. Lights were on all the buildings and the streets.
One of the things that I thought was just absolutely stunning was the old bridge across the river Lima. There's a Roman part, and then there's another part that was from what, the 1400s?
Yeah, I mean the Roman part, but it's like 2,000 years old. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of
And it's
history
all
that you
pedestrian.
you just reach out and touch it.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Well, they had it decorated so gorgeous for the holiday. And that was beautiful and stunning, and we kind of went cuckoo on pictures for that.
And of course, when we visit a town, we're looking at it as if it's someplace that we could live. So we look at the character, we look at walkability, transportation, and of course, our biggest priority is food and
Wine.
yes. And
well,
go ahead.
All right, so I have a couple things to say about it. The people are so nice, and we have had from Porto on up, everywhere we have been, we always are able to connect with local people that are amazing, so welcoming and so helpful, and they knock themselves out for us with our limited Portuguese. It's just amazing. So we love that. Another thing that we had heard, there were going to be some very regional specific foods and wine there, and we couldn't wait to try.
So the first night we got there, I had a place that I wanted to check out that was supposed to have some great kind of tapas things. And, when you're in the town for the first time, you're never sure, is this a good place or not? Well, we did walk into this little place, and it was maybe, 6 tables?
I don't even know there were 6.
I don't know. There were
Maybe
a couple of
3,
3, 4 guys over at one table, and there were about 12 bottles of empty beers on the table. And I was like, okay, this is it. This is the spot.
Yeah.
And so we had a couple of tapas. I think we had some bacalhau and like a bifana pork sandwich. But the thing we ordered that we had no idea what we were getting was the local vinho tinto.
I think they call it Tinto Verde.
Yes.
This is all the region of the Vinho Verde. And to me, we have checked out some really good Vinho Verdes that are whites. They're white. Some are a little bit fizzy, some are not, which is great for me because I don't like the fizz too much. But here they also have the Tinto, the red. Verde, and they say that it's named that because it's very young wine. It's young red wine. And boy, oh boy, we found out it is a different, Whole different experience from any wine we're used to here in Porto.
Got kind of a snap to it.
It's just a different taste. It was like it reminded me of if somebody made homemade wine, that it might taste like this.
Yeah.
It might look like this. They serve these little ceramic cups. They look like small soup cups.
Mm.
And that's how you drink this wine, not in glasses. It kind of sticks to the side. It's like a little, it's interesting. It's just a very unusual thing. And I think for me, it's an acquired taste, but I would definitely give it some more tries.
Yeah, it was definitely different. And then, so we had a great little starter in that tavern. And one of the main things we were going to Ponte de Lima for was
Arroz sarabulho.
You know, I love Papas de Sarabulho. We have a video out, a post about Papas dogs.
Papas
So
dogs.
catch that. But anyway.
Okay, we couldn't wait to try this. I like Papas here in Porto, but I'm not that really excited like he is. This is the guy. I'm like a couple spoonfuls, and it's like, good, that's good. Well, of course, we had to try the arroz sarabulho, and we didn't try it at that tavern. They didn't have it. We tried it the next day for our main big meal. And oh my goodness, it's probably one of the best comfort foods I've ever had in my life. I went crazy over the stuff. It looks like it looks just like a bowl of dark brown stew without chunks of vegetables.
Put this right up there.
Wow.
The main ingredient, or it starts with pig's blood.
Oh,
and
man.
It's a traditional at harvest time type of meal. And in this region, they put rice in it. And then you also get served what I call a plate of meat with it, which is blood sausage,
Chunks of
pork and chicken, and other types of sausages that are like, what's this? I think at that place I had pig's foot, so it's,
and cabbage maybe, and some, it's just a whole big plate of stewed or roasted other things. But for me, I could have done away with any of that because this doggone arroz, which means rice, arroz sarabulho, was the thing. I love this stuff so much. It was so delicious and so satisfying and so comforting. And I'm sad that we can't find it here.
Well, we like it so much that the next day we
went again to
a different place, another tavern kind of place, and it was on the menu. And we went in, and then we were told it wasn't lunchtime yet to come back, and that it would be upstairs. We didn't know there was an upstairs. We had another fabulous meal. It came out in a big crock. There was a party going on behind us where they were drinking the local wine. I talked to them, and I have a picture of myself and George, who they wanted us to sample the wine they were drinking.
Oh yeah, because we had our wine in glasses because we picked something we're familiar with because we thought, okay, well,
Yeah.
And they had the server clear off those wine glasses and bring the little cups to all of them. It's a table for like what, 10 people maybe?
Yeah, they were having a blast.
And they had their pitchers, their garrafa in these it's a very specific pitcher that they serve the wine out of. They're like ceramic, and they have stripes going up the side. All of it is like that.
And Kathleen mentioned how, everywhere we go here in Portugal, the Portuguese are so friendly and accommodating, and just want to make sure you're taken care of. So
this is our server. All right,
our server, this young lady, she was amazing. We were saying we wanted to order the arroz sarabulho, and she just like paused, said, wait a second. She went and got her phone to translate, to show us what was in it, because she wanted to make sure that we knew what we were getting.
Yeah, because it's real clear.
Because it's got a lot, like I said, different ingredients in it.
Yeah.
And we said, no, that's what we've had it before. That's what we want.
We want it.
And
then we showed her that we snarfed the whole bowl full. Oh my gosh.
So that was great. And, again, walking around town, one of the things that's so amazing about Ponte de Lima is its age, and that I think in sometime in the 14th century, it was walled in there were 9 towers built, and then all the walls. 2 of those towers remain intact today in some of the walls. And the one tower houses the Turismo office, which is fascinating to go in there and just look at the inside of this place. So again, lots of history in this little town.
Mhm.
We spent some time walking back and forth across the bridge, and there's a great little restaurant on the other side. Or Porta,
Uh,
how do you say red?
Porta Vermelha.
Vermilia. Huh, I put her on the
Sorry.
spot. My fault. I didn't
We are in
warn her
Portuguese
about that.
class, hey?
So we had some great wine there. In fact, we went there twice. We went there in the evening. We had some wonderful shrimp, some other. So, oh, you said it was the best bacalhau treats that you had had.
They were really good.
They were really good.
Yeah, the bolinhos. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I
Philippe
have something
was
to
the
say.
owner's name.
Yeah.
And then the
So
next
if you
day
go
we
look
went,
for Philippe.
we sat out on the patio and had a couple of glasses of wine, and just all of a sudden you just feel like you're at home. You feel so welcome.
Well,
go ahead.
One of the things that we don't do a lot of, we don't do a lot of museums for a variety of reasons. We keep thinking, well, we live here, so that's a tourist thing, and we'll get to it sometime. But we had friends that told us that the Toy Museum was very special, and so we decided we're going to go do that. And so we that's on that side of the bridge too. It's across the river from where we were staying, where it's on the Roman side of the bridge.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, wow. It was all toy factories from Portugal that, and a whole selection of many rooms of the toys that were made through what, over 100 years?
Yeah, 100. Yeah, about 100 years.
Oh my goodness, so unbelievable and so cute, and it was very enjoyable. I would highly recommend it, especially like at the end. They had this great dollhouse. I'm telling you, it made me wish I had a dollhouse right now. They had a bathroom in that dollhouse that even had a bidet. I'm telling you.
We had a wonderful time. We did some wine tasting at the Wine Museum bar, and we strolled up and down the river. They have this one park area that is like 100-year-old trees, a promenade right along the river. It's just so very peaceful. And where we stayed, I'll list that in the description. It was more the Caminho Portuguese, the central Caminho runs through Ponte de Lima, right across the bridge. You'll see the yellow arrows for the Caminho. We stayed in a place that catered to pilgrims. So we had our own private room with a private bath, but the bath was outside of our room. This is something that we're used to. Not everybody might appreciate that. There are definitely plenty of other accommodations in town.
Lots of stuff.
Would we live there, like we said? No, we would not. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the things that are necessary for me to want to live somewhere is the transportation. Now, this place is gorgeous and just as cute as can be, even with their wonderful arroz de sarrabulho, but there's no metro, there's no buses, well, there is a bus.
It's served by bus.
But it's not a city bus.
It's not a transportation hub.
There's no train.
Yeah.
It's like you have to have a car or you have to walk really far. I mean, they have little grocers, like multi-purpose shops that have other stuff. Like you can go to the fruiteria and you look in, they're the one that was by our Airbnb, and they had all kinds of stuff all the way up to the ceiling. So you could do it, but that'd be kind of challenging when you don't have your Portuguese, because there are so many people that are kind of lined up ready to go into this really small space. And so we're always looking for a Pingo Doce.
There was one there, but it was a little bit of a walk. And
like about 20 minutes. And it was uphill there and then downhill coming back. And then there's a huge, beautiful new Continent. Both these stores were like relatively new, huge, but far, where most of the people have cars. And there's other areas where I'm sure, what am I trying to say? The suburbs. They have a lot developed area, and those stores are catering to them.
Right.
You know.
But a wonderful place to visit. We plan on going back again, just because of the fact that it is small enough to really experience with having that sense of, wow, I'm really getting to know this town. The food, for sure.
Fabulous.
And just
maybe we'll drink more of that wine, unusual wine, and then we'll be able to give you a better report on that.
Definitely worth a visit if you're here in Portugal.
Yeah, very cool.
After Christmas, we headed south to São Martinho de Porto to celebrate New Year's with friends of ours who live in this town.
Wow, this was a darling place. It was unbelievable how pretty it was. It's on the ocean, and they have this incredible bay with a very relatively small inlet. The
Yeah,
ocean comes in and it makes this circular playa. The bay is pretty much round, and there
it's
was
amazing.
ruins on one side from where Vasco da Gama,
Where they
they
built his
built
boats.
ships.
Yeah,
It's
his
some old
ships.
ruins. It's really, really gorgeous. And we heard from our friends that when it's summertime, the beach is so sandy and gorgeous. It's just perfect for families, and they say it's just pretty much solid families with children all playing because there's like hardly any surf, just very
Just a little bit.
minimal
It's
little baby
fascinating. Yeah,
waves. And yeah, and it's gorgeous.
yeah.
So
It is really very unique. It's like a swimming pool
it
made
is.
by the ocean
Yeah, it's real
that through this
cool.
little inlet, but it is
You'll see some
wonderful.
pictures.
Yeah, and it's about 230 kilometers south, almost to Lisbon, and we took the train down. Took us couple of maybe 2.5 hours, and it was great. One of the things I really liked there was the fact that we could be on this very quiet bay. There's a boardwalk to the river that feeds the bay, which also has its own beach, and then with a short walk, we were on these cliffs, these bluffs overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Another beautiful beach down below. But what was unique, the day we went up there was clear, some clouds, a nice breeze, and paragliding. They were launching right off of this bluff area and right up the coast to the north. You could see the beach town of Nazaré, where the big surf happens. I think the waves were just 20 foot that day up in
Yeah,
Nazaré, but they get up to 100 feet tall. So
yeah, it's pretty
anyway,
spectacular. And oh, and walking around the boardwalk,
oh
like
yeah,
you said, there is a tunnel through the through the cliff area or through
yeah,
like the small mountain there to get to the other side where the rocky coast is, and just
yeah, just a lot of
gorgeous,
interesting
just
aspects
very interesting.
and food.
Of course, we're going to tell you about that.
And we like to try to find those little spots that are like mom and pop. Maybe we had one of the, and our friends already had these scoped out. One of them was run by a wife and husband. He cooks, she waits on tables. Need a reservation to
Wow, that
get
was
in there.
great.
Pretty, really good home cooking, and
Mm, really
it
good.
was really good,
And
really
and they say on
delicious.
Friday nights they have somebody playing the guitar in there. But we were there on Saturday
Yeah,
night, and this was really crazy.
I would say it was a highlight. What you're going to
What
talk
what I'm
about?
gonna? Oh my gosh. Okay, so there they have the bomberos, and those are the volunteer firefighters. They have like a cafe. They have a like tavern.
Yeah,
They serve dinner and lunch and unbelievable, and it was so good. Okay,
yeah.
tell.
Well, it's called the Incendio Cafe.
Incendio.
Um, and we went in there
Perfect
for
name.
lunch. All local people sitting around. The food was great. We had like an octopus rice dish. We had big carafe of wine. We had soup to start with, um, and we had plenty of bread and olives.
But one of
But
the coolest things,
yeah,
tell,
well,
so
there's
cool.
this. We're sitting there for a minute, and all of a sudden we notice there's this kid moving around the tables. I'd say
He
what,
sat
maybe
he sat our
he
table. He
sat our
put a
table.
tablecloth
He put the
down.
tablecloth on, all the silverware, brought us bread. I watched him get the bread. He used the glove to pull the bread out
I think
of
he
the
was
bin.
7 or 8 years old.
So this young man, I'm watching him, and he knows his job. He's not like there going, "Oh, what should I do?" He knew his job. He was watching the tables. He brought the bread. He set the table. He cleaned. He was cleaning tables off. He was even making coffee
In the
at
fancy coffee machines
yeah
that
at the
Europe
coffee
has everywhere.
maker. He was delivering
Espressos.
wine. Now I know U.S. They go, what, this kid's delivering?
Yeah, he's delivering
He
wine.
was serving the tables, helping to serve the tables, and it was just fascinating to watch him as he interacted with the adults that were working there too. I think
He
his
was
mom
so
worked there,
polite.
but he was
And
so
you could
polite.
say, obrigada to him, and
Yeah,
he said de nada.
yeah.
and he would just be focused on
He was all
doing
business.
all perfection. And anyway, when we left, we talked to the Senora.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
that's his mom.
Yeah.
And, and just told her how impressed we were and how everything was so
Right.
good. And told her that her son was, in the best way we could tell her, that we were appreciating her son.
And what I was also impressed with was the fact that they asked me if I wanted seconds, if
Oh, yeah.
I wanted more.
Oh my gosh.
So everything was included. Like I said, the soup, the
Seconds.
wine, the main dish, whatever else we had that go with it, 11 euros each.
Mhm.
And it's amazing how you can get such great fresh food in these cafes for such an affordable price. And then to be asked if you want seconds, I was
Well,
like,
they
oh,
didn't say it seconds. They said, do you
want
want
more?
more?
Right.
Mais?
Right.
Mais.
Yeah. So I was
No
full.
mais.
I said, no, thank you. But wow,
Oh,
what a
right.
concept, right?
So cool. Yeah.
So, again, this town is flat, walkable. The highlight, of course, we were there for New Year's Eve. And what a party.
Oh my goodness.
Right along the beach.
Well, they say that the people come from surrounding areas to this because of the beautiful bay, and it's just spectacular. I guess the reflection from the water when the fireworks go. And they hired, they had one of those big trucks that come and unfold and have a big band stage, and they had a band. And then they also had a disc jockey down at the other end.
Yeah, it was great.
There's a lot of music and a lot of stuff. And then they had the fireworks display. It was so fun because everybody's wanting to just have a good time. It's very similar to the energy that we feel here at São João when everybody's out to party, only on a very smaller scale. Here, it's lots and lots of people of all ages. Yes. There, it's not so many people of all ages, and it was more relaxed. So if crowds really bother you for festivals, I would say go to a town like that or go to that because, wow, it was just more kind of low-key.
Basically, it was
fabulous.
Everybody just walking up and down the promenade right at the beach. And when it came time for the fireworks, they were right out in the bay. Mm-hmm. And everybody just walked out onto the beach and just stood there and watched.
Yeah, not too crazy.
There were people with their kids in the strollers, on their shoulders, people our age. Some people, I think, maybe older, but they were dancing.
Really, there are older ones.
Kathleen was dancing on the sidewalk with somebody
she
didn't
wanted
know.
To dance, and she was so cute, and we did.
So it was just a really small town feel of enjoying, welcoming in the new year. And then the next day, New Year's Day, we were there for the morning and left in the afternoon. Well, we went to get something to eat. Had some great burgers at this one place. I think it's called
I was craving a burger.
There weren't a lot of places open on New Year's Day, but this place was right on the beach. And our server was he was straight out. He was like taking care of the whole patio area, and he was busting it. He still had a smile on his face. We didn't connect a lot as we were getting our food, but when I went to check out, I went to pay our bill. He added up, I paid him, and he just looked at me, he put his hand on my shoulder, and he smiled and said, Feliz Ano Novo. And he took just that brief moment to make sure he connected with me, and we just smiled at each other.
Extra little moments, which happen all the time. It's like it's like many Portuguese, I would like to say all, I don't know if all do, but many do, take an extra moment to get some kind of connection or to give a connection because they desire connection. Yeah. It's really cool.
So would we live here? We would not choose to live in São Martinho de Porto. Again, great place. We would definitely visit again. We have our friends there. They obviously live there, and they talk to us about having to get on the train to go to the next town for different services like groceries. There are places to get groceries in São Martinho, but like for the Pingo Doce or the Continent and medical care too, seems like they have to travel. So for us, that's not overly appealing. And also it's not a transportation hub. So it's not as easy to get to other parts of Portugal.
Right. So yeah, for us, we like to walk everywhere. and like have the other options available, and for a variety of reasons. I mean, we can go somewhere and we can either take feet, we can take many times metro, and almost always bus. And sometimes there's a combination of bus and metro if you want to do. There's a lot of different things. And then you've got the buses that go to the different towns from here, and you've got all the trains, because we have 2 train stations here
Yes.
in the city. Amazing, guys. Why would we want to go and put ourselves in a place where we feel we have to buy a car? That's one of the reasons why we're so happy here. So, right?
So a big thank you to our friends in São Martinho, because had they not invited us, we would have not gotten the opportunity
We would
to
never go
travel
yet.
to another
Not
town
this year.
and take a look at it, experience this big celebration, and also look at it from our perspective of, oh, is this someplace that would be desirable for us to live? Like I said,
It was
definitely
lovely.
visit.
We loved it. It was great. Good experience.
So that's pretty much it for our 2 side trips during the holidays. Thank you again for tuning in. We love putting these together. We love sharing what it's like to live here in Portugal. If you have any questions or any desire to gain more information, just email us. All the information is down below. We also do video chats. Again, that's in the description of below. So I think that's pretty much it.
That's pretty good.
And if you've watched this before, you're probably waiting for the ending. If this is your first time, we always end by asking,
What adventure are you on today?